Welcome to another edition of our video recaps. So in one of our past recap lessons we looked at leading our hi-hat from our snare drum using our left hand, you playing standard semi-quavers. So if I play that standard left hand lead first of all as a recap, 1, 3, 4. You'll notice we have got 16 on our hi-hat, including the strike as I come across and hit the snare drum. So what we're going to do is if we divide that and I bring my right stick over onto the snare drum and play that again, 1, 3, 4. Do you notice then that I'd hit that hi-hat 8 times because between the hi-hat and the snare drum I divided it in half. There was 8 on the hi-hat, 8 on the snare drum. Now the 8 on the hi-hat also includes the one, as I've just stated, when I come over to strike the snare. So using the 8 on the hi-hat and the snare, that's where we can place our open hi-hats. We can think of every time I strike that hi-hat as if I'm playing a normal quaver rhythm. And everywhere I open that hi-hat on the 8, I can bring that into our left hand, striking the 8 on the hi-hat, including that snare. So, first of all, the easiest way to do this is play it on the second one of every time I hit the hi-hat. Now, if I just open it on the very first second one, you can hear this. Okay, you can see then how I incorporate that open hat. So I'll now bring it into every open hi-hat on the ands of the strike. So every second hi-hat as I hit it. 1, 1, 4. You can see that independence growing. Now that also enables me then to still use our right stick around the drums. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 3, 4, 1. You can see the open hi-hat open on every second hi-hat I strike that left, or wherever I feel I want to open it in coordination with the music we're playing. Now we've also used, when this technique of our left hand, we brought in our bounce triplets. So if I play our standard left hand leading with bounce triplets, and the bounce doubles are going to be on the snare drum as we did in the past. You can see I am still striking the same amount of hi-hat. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 5, 8. So still our 8 hi-hats, including the one I come across and strike the snare. So even with that bounce triplet, I can bring in the same coordination with our open hi-hats. And on every off. Slow that right down. You'll notice that when I close the hi-hat, either as I strike the hi-hat or as I strike the snare, and I close it tight. Okay, so it's controlling the hi-hat to a height that you always get the same resonance between your hi-hat. If I bring this up, you can see it onto the side. You'll notice that I'm only slightly moving my toe on my left foot. Okay, so if I now bring in our bounce triplet onto our ride cymbal and still use our pattern around the toms, you'll see the independence coming with that left hand. Okay, so if I just play the left hand, the right hand is free. Okay, so you can see how this opens up your playing by doing that one simple thing, and that's learning to lead with your left. As I said, when we play this, we have only got half of a snare drum to strike with. So you need to make sure that you have really thought about your stick control. So as you're striking, you're not going to come over and strike your hand or your thumb. So always try to give yourself that L shape to give you the position to bring your snare in. 1, 3, 4, 1. And you can see how that opens up your playing when you do this. Alright, so to finish with, if I now carry on and put it to a few more parts of the track, you'll notice how it comes in.
With GRC Drum Kit Tuition, learn to play the music you like. Give Glenn a call on 02380 601 235 or visit grcpercussion.com.